Oh, hail our tribal chief. I mean, seriously, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Hi, my name is Jude, and if you ask me, the best professional wrestling matches are ones that focus on two elements, and those are story and character. And in my opinion, there's only one wrestler working today that focuses on those two elements, and thus has really great matches. And that is, of course, our tribal chief, our head of the table, the face of WWE, no, the face of pro wrestling today, our Universal Heavyweight Champion of the world, or universe, whatever, Roman Reigns. Ever since this guy came back as the tribal chief character, he's been having killer matches after killer matches after killer matches, both on free TV and in the pay-per-view events. And in all of those matches, he focused on those two elements of story and character. And that's why his matches are so great, and people talk about them to this day. And on this recent show on Smackdown, he pulled off another banger, a Hell in a Cell match with Rey Mysterio. Now, to be fair, I wouldn't put this match in his upper echelon of the great matches he's been having. You know, his two matches with Jey Uso, his match with Cesaro at Backlash, the triple threat at WrestleMania. I wouldn't put this match up there, but even so, it still was a really good match, especially for a match that was on free TV, heavily focusing on story and character, and I want to talk about it. Plus, it gives me a reason to gush about Roman Reigns, and that is a-okay for me. Before we get to the match though, I want to go over the promo segment that opened the show between Rey Mysterio and our tribal chief. Rey Mysterio comes out, he has a microphone, and he pretty much reiterates the sadness that has overwhelmed him these past 2 weeks. The sadness of watching Dominic suffering and writhing in pain on basically close to a cold-blooded murder that he suffered 2 weeks ago. And with that sadness, there was this embridled rage building within him. This rage, all for one man. That one man who put his son Dominic through that pain and suffering. And that man, our tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Rey goes on to say that he doesn't want to wait for Sunday, the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. He wants to fight Roman Reigns inside the cell tonight. Rey then says Roman Reigns accepted his request via Twitter, but he wants the tribal chief to come out to the ring, accept his request, man to man. This leads to Roman Reigns making his glorious entrance with that glorious theme. I'm not gonna sing it. So Roman Reigns grabs the mic, and he actually tries to be diplomatic this time around. He asks Rey, "Are you sure this is what you want?" And he gives him a second chance to back out. He goes on to say that what he did to Dominic wasn't his fault. He's such a dick and I love it. Roman says that what he did to Dominic wasn't his fault, and what he did to Dominic will be PG compared to what he would do to Mysterio if he doesn't back out. But Rey, he's having none of that. He stands in the ring, looks Roman dead in the eye with a look of babyface determination, and says, "I've never been more ready in my entire life." Roman, with a look of annoyance, does this sideways glance to Heyman and says, "Try it your way, Paul. I would do it my way." And then he slowly walks to the back. So it was a really good promo segment to hype up their Hell in a Cell match. It establishes the heroism of Rey Mysterio, the villainy of Roman Reigns. It also emphasizes the character traits of the two men, as well as the soap opera drama that's going to fuel this match, which is very important. So the match starts, and Rey instantly goes to the outside, grabs the steel chair, and proceeds to attack Reigns with the steel chair. It establishes the story that Rey is at a massive physical disadvantage against Roman Reigns, so he's going to use any and all weapons that he can find to gain even a fighting chance. Rey Mysterio's use of weaponry also emphasizes that story element that Rey Mysterio wants to make Roman Reigns suffer the same pain that he inflicted on Dominic Mysterio. Rey attacks Roman with the steel chair, goes for another shot, but Reigns blocks it and rips the chair away from Mysterio's grip, which sends the luchador flying all the way out of the ring. This reminds all of us that Roman Reigns has a sheer power advantage over Rey Mysterio. However, Mysterio recovers on the outside and attacks Reigns with a fire extinguisher. He sprays the chemical stuff into Roman Reigns before he mounts an assault. This was cool. It really showed off Rey Mysterio's quickness and his resourcefulness in not letting the bigger man get the upper hand. Mysterio uses more weaponry to take down Roman Reigns and maintain the advantage, one of those weapons being a toolbox. which reminded me of the Hell in a Cell match between Seth Rollins and The Fiend. That match sucked. Anyway, Mysterio grabs a steel chair and proceeds to use it against Reigns. He even does this cool spot where he hits Roman Reigns with a baseball slide with the steel chair wedged between Roman's back and the bottom rope. It was a really cool spot. There was another cool spot where Mysterio grabbed the steel chair, opened it up, and sort of like, I guess, placed it on Roman Reigns' head, and then he pushes Roman Reigns into the cell wall again and again, really pushing the seat of that chair into Roman's neck. Roman then hunches over, he writhes in pain, and he gasps for breath each time Mysterio does that. It was really cool. Roman did a really good job at selling the violence and making Rey's offense look convincing, and thus making him a credible threat. Rey goes to attack Roman again, but then Roman grabs him by the throat, essentially stopping him in place and just holding him there. While he's holding him there, he takes the chair off his head and then headbutts Rey to the floor. This was an awesome spot, I thought. It really showed that Roman Reigns, once he gets his hands on Mysterio, the ultimate underdog, is in big trouble. Roman sets up for a spear on the outside, then the luchador ducks out of the way at the last minute, leading to Roman crashing into the propped up table. Then on commentary, Pat McAfee just starts running wild. He's like, "I never thought I'd see the day that Roman Reigns would get his ass kicked by Rey Mysterio." Michael Cole then chimes in and says that Rey Mysterio is filled with so much adrenaline and emotion after seeing Roman put his son through immense pain. Pat McAfee then says that because of all that emotion and adrenaline, Rey is hell-bent on inflicting that same pain into Roman Reigns. I thought this was great. They did a really good job on commentary. For once. They really put over Rey Mysterio as a credible threat, and they also heightened up the soap opera drama between those two men. This little victory is short-lived, however, as Roman Reigns quickly recovers, somehow, and proceeds to go on the offensive. Mysterio tries to fight back with his babyface valiance, but he's soon cut off as Reigns overpowers the luchador. This leads to a really cool spot on the outside where Rey Mysterio goes for a Hurricane Rana, but then Reigns essentially stops in his tracks, and then while still holding Rey Mysterio, he proceeds to swing Mysterio into the cell wall viciously again and again and again. It was really cool. It really emphasized the sheer power advantage that Roman Reigns has over Rey Mysterio. Roman then throws Mysterio into the ring and proceeds to continue his dominance, just trapping Mysterio in the corner and just beating him up with right hands and right knees. Roman then lays out Rey Mysterio with a big Superman punch, then he slowly saunters to the corner, does his ooh-ah chants, and sets up for a spear. Roman goes for it, but then Mysterio stops him with a big front drop kick to the face. So at this point, we get a nice back and forth sequence between Mysterio and Roman Reigns. Mysterio goes to punch Reigns, who blocks it, then picks him up for a powerbomb. Then Mysterio blocks that and sends Reigns flying into the middle ropes with a big Hurricane Rana, showing off Mysterio's babyface fire and setting up for the 619. Rey goes for the 619, but then Reigns stops him in his tracks with a boom! Big haymaker, sending him falling into the mat face first. This was cool. Really good fast-paced action between the underdog hero and the monster heel. That made a lot of sense. So the match continues with Mysterio crawling to one corner and Reigns going to the opposite corner, setting up another spear. Reigns goes for the spear, but then Mysterio ducks out of the way at the last minute, sending Roman Reigns crashing into the corner turnbuckle. This leads to a cool spot with Rey Mysterio going for the 619 and actually hitting it while Roman Reigns is resting in the middle portion of the turnbuckle rather than the middle rope in the middle of the ring. It looked really cool. Roman recoils backwards from the 619. He clutches his head, just writhing in pain. Rey then grabs the steel chair and then proceeds to wallop Reigns with it. He hits him with the steel chair again and again and again. He's not letting up even when Roman falls to the ground. Again, emphasizing the crucial story element that Mysterio wants to make Roman feel the same pain and suffering that he inflicted on Dominic. Mysterio then places the steel chair onto Roman Reigns and goes to hit the frog splash onto Roman while the chair is still laying on top of him, and he actually hits it. However, he doesn't immediately follow up with a pinfall. He just recoils off of Roman Reigns and he's on the side just clutching his torso, selling the pain that he suffered from performing such a High risk maneuver! Rey Mysterio recovers in time and goes to hit a second frog splash without the steel chair this time, and he actually connects. He goes for the pinfall, the ref counts for 1, 2, but then Reigns just kicks out at 2.5. Rey has his head in his hands, looking distraught, while the commentary team is just going nuts that Rey was this close at beating Roman Reigns. As Reigns recovers from the frog splashes, Mysterio heads to the top rope and goes for a seated senton, but then Roman catches him. Mysterio goes for a Hurricane Rana, but then Reigns stops him in his tracks, hoists him back up into a power position. He then proceeds to run across the ring and then just yeets Mysterio over the top rope into the cell wall. Mysterio then crashes to the floor in a lifeless heap. Like father, like son. Oh, actually, it might be the other way around because Dominic was hit first, so it's like son, then father, whatever. While Mysterio is just laying outside the ring, all unconscious, you can hear Heyman in the background just going, "Oh my god! Oh my god!" That was awesome. It's just like, Heyman just finds a spot in every Roman Reigns match to verbally emphasize how powerful and how monstrous the Tribal Chief is. Roman then throws Rey into the ring and then he locks the luchador in this inverted guillotine choke, to which Mysterio immediately taps out to, giving Reigns the convincing win. This finish felt a bit iffy to me. It was a bit weird to see the babyface hero tap out immediately after such a great showing. I mean, the submission move looked really good. It looked like Roman Reigns' entire bicep was just wrapped around Mysterio's small neck and his vice grip, so it looked like it made sense for Mysterio to tap out. But still, it felt weird to see the babyface tap out so quickly. What I think would be a cooler finish would be for Roman to grab Mysterio, throw him into the ring, mount him, and then proceed to just unleash just a ferocious volley of rights, lefts, just wail on Mysterio's unconscious heap again and again and again, to the point where the referee literally has to dive in between the two men to separate Reigns. Well, not separate, to stop Reigns. The referee then signals for the timekeeper to ring the bell, and then he tells the ring announcer to announce that Roman Reigns has won the match by technical knockout. I think that'd be really cool. It'd be a really impressive finish for Roman Reigns to just beat the crap out of somebody so bad that he knocks him out cold, and it really drives the point home that Roman Reigns is more than willing to inflict such callous and brutal violence to keep the Universal Belt around his waist. But that's neither here nor there. The submission finisher didn't ruin the match for me. The match was still really good, especially for a main event TV match. If I had one gripe about this match, I mean, other than those commercial breaks, is that it's a Hell in a Cell match, and I was just really expecting some more brutal violence. But my thinking is, this is a Hell in a Cell match on free TV. You don't really want to give away such high-octane violence on a non-pay-per-view show. That being said, it's a Hell in a Cell match, so I was expecting some brutality. And I know there's a lot of people that say, "Oh man, there's no way Hell in a Cell matches can be that good anymore, because when we're in the era of PG, we can't have that type of violence anymore." And my response is, check out the 2015 Hell in a Cell match between The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. That match was awesome. You had the violence, you had the brutality, there was even blood. That match was so great, and it really told me that even in the PG era, you could still have a brutal and violent Hell in a Cell match. I was kind of expecting that violence to be in this match, but we didn't get it, so oh well. Again, this match is really good, especially given that it was a free TV match rather than the pay-per-view match that it was supposed to be. Oh yeah, and after the match, Roman Reigns attacked Mysterio again. He locked in another guillotine choke and essentially knocked him out cold. And then Jimmy Uso came out and raised Roman Reigns' hand in victory, showing that he is indeed acknowledging the Tribal Chief, further advancing the family drama between Roman Reigns and his cousins Jimmy and Jay, which is by far, beyond shadow of a doubt, the best thing that is happening in pro wrestling today. So those are my thoughts on the Hell in a Cell match on free TV, really weird, between Roman Reigns and Rey Mysterio. If you have any thoughts, feel free to lay them down in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this video, consider giving it a like, sharing it around, hit the subscribe button too, and the notification bell while you're at it. It really tells the YouTube algorithm to push this video out and recommend it to other people who like watching pro wrestling videos, and hitting the sub button as well as the notification bell allows you to stay tuned for future pro wrestling content like this on this channel. Until the next video, my name is Jude, and I'll catch you later.